What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? We're using a very bad camera right now and a very bad setup because I'm in my mom's basement. But without further ado, I'm going to show you how I made $4,000 in 30 seconds sitting in my mom's basement. And I don't live here. I'm just here for the summer. So without further ado, let's get into the video and I'll break it down. As seen on screen, you can see here's my Apex P&L. Okay, you can do the math. But I'm going to be breaking down why I like the setup, and I'm going to be showing you in live time my thoughts. So the first thing I want to show you is the live time recording, and I'm going to kind of break it down step by step. What is my bias? It's probably going to be bullish to the data highs right. All right, step one. Someone asked me what my bias was, and this is kind of when I was getting in the chart. And my routine when I get in the chart is I kind of look for two things. I look for higher time frame PD arrays we could be delivering out of or inside, or I'll look for a data high or equal highs or some really like relative equal highs from overnight. You know, it doesn't really matter, but you know, something along the lines of that. So that was the first step. Locate a liquidity point or a liquidity pool that might be a good target, or locate maybe a PD array that we're inside that can help determine the target. What is my bias? It's probably going to be bullish to the data highs right now. So you can see someone asked my bias, and I said, okay, bullish because we had data highs. This was the only possibility of a play we could have gotten at the time, which was negative RR, so I didn't really love it, but, you know, it would have been a tape read if we did get this, and I probably would not have taken it, but, you know, maybe I could have gone one micro for fun because I'm sure this would have worked. But the important part is, like, understanding, okay, what could be a good target and why. And data highs are basically red folder news event wicks that are formed off of 830 red folder news in the 1 minute time frame, and they usually form like an abnormal wick, which can tend to be a really good target in the market. So next step, step two, is going to be determine a higher time frame context. So we have our data highs marked, and you know, some of my chat was like, "Oh, we're gonna dump or bearish," and you know, they were kind of right, but I was looking for a higher time frame context, and what this means is I'm looking for a liquidity sweep in the higher time frame or something like a fair value gap we could be delivering off of. And I noticed that if you zoom in here, we did just tap into this 2 minute. There is a 2 minute in fair value gap here. That was a 15-minute as well. It was a 15-minute and a 2 minute, right? And this is where context comes into play. We're low in the range. We're in discount. Okay, if I were to draw a, you know, a fib from, you know, the low to the high of the range from this high to this low, right? We tapped into that discount and we had the data high. So we're in a discount, which is pretty good because, you know, you want to buy things on discount when you go to the store, right? And there's a fair value gap to the left, which was also in the 15-minute as well, right? And because the wick came into it and respected it so nicely, I think, that to me is like a light bulb moment that it's a good reaction in hindsight. I didn't know that was going to happen in live time, but I could use that hindsight reaction to maybe look for a 1 minute inverse off it or a 30-second inverse off it. You know, it doesn't really matter. We end up getting both. Okay. But that was like the reaction in hindsight that I was looking for, and we got it. So then up here, I'm like, okay, because we're delivering from this 15-minute, because we're delivering from this 2 minute to the left, I like this inverse to bring me up to the data highs. Okay. No, I don't take the 15-second. 3 minute. Okay, wait. 3 minute actually. So step three is, you know, this is where I'm determining an entry model, right? I need something to get in here. I'm not just gonna enter just because we swept the low inside of a fair value gap. Okay, don't just enter. You can do that if you want, but that's not how I trade. You're gonna have a much lower win rate doing that. Pretty good. Yeah, 3 minute looks pretty good. I like this. If we close and it triggers. Yeah, and we tapped into a 15-minute and we tapped into a 2 minute. Right. So looks pretty good. Okay, never mind. So this is kind of in between step 3 and 4. I kind of said never mind because the 3 minute, while it did look good, did end up fully closing. So this is kind of where you have to be subjective about it, right? You like the 3 minute, it doesn't trigger, closes, cool, it doesn't matter. Now I'm going to look for another entry, another time frame entry, because, you know, sometimes you're not always going to get that perfect 3 minute, you know, that you may have been looking for, right? If I'm looking for a 3-minute here and it looks perfect, it might not always trigger. So you might have to adjust a little bit. So the second I see that close, right, I'm going to have to adjust, and I'm going to have to be like, okay, I'm going to look at the 1 minute now that I was looking at previously, right? As long as we have good momentum, and we did, right? We had good momentum. So that's just kind of like being subjective when you're looking at a trade and kind of understanding that based on liquidity, we should still go up regardless of what inverse we get here. And the reason being is because we're delivering off of a 5 and we have data highs above. So it's going to be the 1 minute. It's going to be the 1 minute for sure. It looks like this might become invalid. Now, this is important. I was being a little pessimistic here. I'm like, okay, it might become invalid. You know, I was kind of talking down on the trade. But it doesn't mean I'm going to give up on the trade and just not plan to take it. I was still planning on taking this. I still had all my orders ready. I still had all my contracts set. I knew the stop loss. I knew how many points the stop loss was. I knew how much to risk. I had all of that ready. Okay, so just because I'm counting out a trade early doesn't mean to count the trade fully out. You should still be ready just in case. I'm definitely going to get in this some way or another, depending on what happens. But we'll see how the close is. Okay, 30 more seconds to the 1 minute close. Ideally, we want to close like right here. This would be the perfect scenario. But again, delivery's good. Like, we're delivering from the 15 minute. We're delivering from the tiny 2 minute. So it's pretty decent delivery. And bang, I'm all out there. I'm done for the day. Let's fucking go. Let's go. Who took that? Who took that? Absolute banger. And step 4 is, you know, once you take the trade, you know, just becoming disciplined and, you know, getting off, right? So we got the trade, it triggered perfectly. I said, there's the entry on my live stream, and, you know, it was perfect, right? And you can see my executions, if you guys want to see my executions, you know, we're right here, okay? You can see, right? We got the candle closure, I get in. I did not get a great fill. My fill was up here, and then, you know, I'm getting out at that data high, which was not a data high in MNQ, but it was a data high in NQ. And I know some of you guys have that question, okay? Some of you wonder if NQ has it at a high like here, but MQ doesn't. See how MQ actually does not right here? See how it was already taken? You got to do the analysis on NQ. Okay, this counts. This doesn't matter. So I was still targeting this high in MNQ because it was a data high in NQ. So you have to get used to that. But yeah, that's basically the 4 steps I used. And, you know, after I was done for the day, we didn't really get great price action. I mean, look at this. Kind of trash. So, you know, that's why it's important to be done after the expansion move and, you know, get off. So that's going to be it for this video. Hopefully you guys like this breakdown. If you guys want to know more about my one setter for life, go comment the word, or don't comment any word. I don't know why I said that, but you can go type in one setter for life, Dodgy's DD in the YouTube search channel. I didn't want to show you guys the indicator that, you know, 2 Degrees made with me did alert this play. So, you know, I got the alert on my phone. I saw it, and, you know, that helps out a lot too. So if you're interested in purchasing the indicator, I don't want to shill on you guys, but I would mainly recommend purchasing this only if you like can't watch the charts, because this has gotten me on the charts when I'm not watching the afternoon. I've caught some really good plays with it. So, you know, shout out to 2 Degrees and thank you for making this. But if you can watch the charts, I would not recommend buying this. It will be very unuseful to you. I mean, you could if you want to, you know, verify the setup, but, you know, be careful with that. So that is going to be it for this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Don't forget to use code Dodgy for an Apex account. The 90% off sale did end yesterday, but it's okay because there's probably going to be 80% again. And, you know, a lot of people practicing using these trades are getting those 50K counts because the TradingView gives you free live data. They're very easy to set up. They're like probably $30 with my code. And you know, I strongly recommend getting one of those if you want to get into the game and you want to get skin into the game without losing all your live money. So that is going to be it for now. I'll see you guys later.